Have you ever sat alone in your quiet home, listening to the ticking of the clock, and suddenly realized, it's been a long time since anyone called just to check on you? Not because they don't care, but because life has pulled them away. Your children have families of their own, old friends are growing frail, and those who were once close now live only in your memories. When we were younger, we believed that family would always be there, that they would be our anchor. And for many, that's true. But then comes a time when we must face a quieter truth. Not everyone will always be by your side. There won't always be someone to listen or to help. And the loneliness that comes in old age is unlike any other kind of sadness. It's not loud, but it lingers. But here's the thing. That doesn't mean you are weak. In fact, one of the quiet gifts that aging gives us is this. Real strength doesn't come from others, it comes from within. This video isn't about blame. It's a reminder, a gentle message that you are not powerless. You can still build a life that feels rich and whole, not by depending on who's around, but by leaning on 5 quiet, powerful sources of strength that have always been within your reach. Let's explore them together so that you can live these later years not just in peace, but with true steadiness, true freedom, and a heart that knows, I am enough even when I stand alone. And when we talk about strength from within, the first place we must look is the body we live in. Not the body we used to have, not the one that climbed ladders, lifted children, or danced until midnight, but the body we have now, slower, quieter, but still capable of carrying us forward, if we care for it with intention. After 70, movement becomes more than motion, it becomes meaning. To stand up without fear of falling, to walk to the mailbox without needing a hand, to cook your own meal, lift a pot, open a jar, or water your plants. These small acts, often overlooked, are no longer just chores. They are declarations. I am still here. I am still living on my terms. You see, when your body can move even gently, you gain more than freedom. You gain dignity. You gain peace of mind. You gain a sense of control in a world where so many things feel uncertain. And it doesn't require perfection. No one is asking you to run marathons or lift weights, but to stretch in the morning while your coffee brews, to take a slow walk down the hallway or around the garden, to roll your ankles in circles while you sit in your favorite chair, to breathe deeply as you reach your arms toward the ceiling. These are not exercises. They are reminders to your body and your spirit that you have not given up. Because here's what most people don't realize. The less we move, the more our bodies forget how. And when the body forgets, the mind begins to shrink too. We stop saying yes to invitations. We stop going out. We stop planning. Not because we don't want to, but because we're afraid we can't. That fear? It's quiet. But it builds a prison around your life. You deserve better than that. You deserve to trust your own legs, your own arms, your own breath. Even if they move slower than before, they are still yours. And every time you use them, you tell the world and yourself, I may be older, but I am not done. So don't wait for someone to tell you it's time. Let your body hear your choice. And let that choice become the first quiet pillar of a life lived with strength, with grace, and without apology. And just as movement gives your body strength, simplicity gives your mind peace. You see, the older we get, the more we begin to understand that complexity is no longer impressive, it's exhausting. Too many numbers, too many objects, too many appointments, too many responsibilities. At some point, it stops being a life and starts feeling like a maze. That's why simplicity, true, gentle, deliberate simplicity, is one of the most powerful supports you can create for yourself. It doesn't mean living with nothing. It means living with only what matters. It means looking around your home and asking, do I really need this? It means opening your wallet and knowing exactly what comes in, what goes out, and what brings you peace instead of panic. It means saying no to things that clutter your heart, not just your shelves. Because the truth is, mental clutter weighs more than physical clutter ever could. A house full of things can feel strangely empty if your mind is burdened. A calendar packed with obligations can leave you lonelier than a quiet day to yourself. And when you strip away the noise, the unused gadgets, the subscriptions you forgot you had, the fears about money you never speak aloud, you start to feel something rare. Clarity. Clarity is not just about seeing. It's about breathing. It's about no longer waking up with anxiety in your chest because you forgot to pay something, or can't find that paper, or feel overwhelmed by things that used to be simple. Let me tell you this. You don't need a financial advisor to feel secure. You need a simple rhythm. A list of what you truly need. One card instead of 5. Fewer bills. Fewer worries. A drawer that opens easily because it isn't stuffed with things you meant to deal with someday. That drawer is a metaphor for your mind, for your peace, for your life. And the more you simplify, the more powerful you become. Because you are no longer managing chaos. You are tending to calm. You don't need anyone to fix it for you. You just need to choose what stays, and gently let go of what doesn't. In that choice, you'll find something most people overlook: freedom. And once your life begins to feel lighter, once the noise quiets and the weight lifts, something beautiful begins to take shape. A rhythm, not a rigid schedule, not a long to-do list, but a gentle daily rhythm that reminds your body and mind. I'm still here. I still matter. I'm still caring for me. You see, in your younger years, you may have chased goals, deadlines, results. But now, it's not about speed or ambition. It's about consistency. The quiet kind, the kind that doesn't show up in photos, but shows up in how you feel at the end of each day. A consistent health routine is not about perfection. It's not about doing everything right. It's about doing what is right for you, again and again, until your body begins to trust that it is safe, that it is seen, that it is being taken care of. It could be as simple as a warm glass of water every morning before breakfast, stretching your hands open and closed 10 times while waiting for the kettle to boil, taking your medication at the same time each day, not just out of necessity, but out of respect for yourself. Because that's what it really is, self-respect in action. When you nourish your body, when you move your limbs gently, when you rest without guilt, you are telling yourself, I am still worthy of care. And here's what most people forget. Routine is more than physical. It is emotional protection. A strong routine reduces confusion, softens anxiety, and gives your mind a sense of order, even on chaotic days. When the outside world feels uncertain, when the news overwhelms, or the weather keeps you indoors, your routine becomes your anchor, like the familiar sound of your own breath, like the quiet act of brushing your hair before bed, like writing down 3 things you're grateful for before you close your eyes at night. These aren't chores. They're small promises you keep with yourself, and the more you keep them, the less you depend on others to remind you that life still holds meaning. Because the truth is, care doesn't begin with doctors or family or nurses. It begins in the mirror with the person staring back. If that person is treated with tenderness every day, then aging becomes not a decline, but a ritual of quiet strength. And while your body finds strength through motion, and your days find peace through rhythm, your heart, too, needs its own kind of shelter, emotional resilience. Because no matter how strong your legs are, or how steady your routine may be, life still finds its way in. A memory you didn't expect, a holiday that feels quieter than it used to, a phone that doesn't ring like it once did. Emotional resilience isn't about pretending those moments don't hurt. It's not about putting on a smile or telling yourself to be strong. It's about knowing deeply that pain may visit, but it doesn't have to unpack and stay. It's about learning to feel everything, but not be broken by anything. You've lived long enough to know. Losses come, people leave, health changes, and sometimes, even family disappoints you in ways you never thought they would. But you are still here, and that means something. There is a kind of quiet power in the heart that has been bruised but keeps beating. A kind of courage in the person who cries, but does not crumble. Resilience doesn't always look heroic. Sometimes it looks like lighting a candle at the same time each evening, just to remind yourself, I made it through today. Sometimes it looks like getting dressed even when no one's coming over, or making a cup of tea for one, and still sitting at the table like it matters. Because it does matter. You matter. When you nurture your emotional strength, you become your own comfort. You don't need others to fix your sadness. You learn how to hold it, honor it, and still move forward. And in that ability, you find something unshakable. Peace that doesn't depend on anyone else. You see, the world may not always offer you the reassurance you need, but you can become the one voice in your life that says, I'm proud of how far I've come. I can face this. I've been through worse and I am still here. Emotional resilience is not just about surviving grief. It's about rising, quietly, every morning, with the intention to live, not just exist. Because aging with grace isn't about avoiding pain. It's about carrying it differently, lighter, wiser, and without fear. And once your emotions find their footing, once you can sit with both sorrow and joy without losing yourself, there's one final pillar that quietly holds everything together: your personal code of values. Because when the world changes around you, when children move far away, when friendships fade, and the roles you once held, parent, spouse, worker, no longer define your days, what remains? What you believe in. Your values are the quiet compass beneath it all. They don't shout. They don't change with trends. They simply guide you, one choice at a time. You see, many people reach their 72nd or 82nd and feel lost, not because they've done anything wrong, but because they've spent decades living by other people's needs. They gave, they served, they stayed quiet, they made sacrifices, and somewhere along the way, they forgot to ask, what do I stand for? Now is the time to return to that question. Now is the time to define for yourself what really matters. Maybe it's honesty, maybe it's kindness, maybe it's living simply, or always keeping your word. Maybe it's starting each day with gratitude, or ending it with prayer, or walking with integrity even when no one sees. Whatever it is, name it, claim it, because your values are not for others to approve of. They are for you to live by. And when life shakes, as it always will, those values become your steady ground. They help you respond not with panic, but with purpose, not with confusion, but with clarity. Let me tell you something quietly powerful. A person who knows their values never feels truly lost. Because even in the silence of an empty home, even when plans fall through, or people forget to call, you still know who you are. That's a kind of wealth that no money can buy, and no loneliness can steal. So if you've never written down your values, try it. Take a piece of paper. Write 5 things you believe in deeply, not because someone told you to, but because they bring you peace when everything else feels uncertain. Because in the end, we don't need the whole world to understand us. We just need to understand ourselves and live accordingly. That, more than anything, is what gives your later years meaning, dignity, and peace that no one can take away. And now, as we look back on each of these quiet pillars, your body that still moves, your life that flows with gentle simplicity, your routines that offer steadiness, your emotions that have learned how to breathe through pain, and your values that keep you anchored. One truth becomes clear. You are not empty. You are equipped, maybe not in the way you once were, maybe not with a house full of people or a calendar full of plans, but with something deeper, something quieter, something that lasts longer than applause or attention: inner strength. You see, aging doesn't strip you of power. It simply asks you to find it in new places, not in who calls you, not in who remembers your birthday, but in how you meet the morning, in how you speak to yourself when the room is silent, in how you rise, day after day, not to impress, but to live with quiet grace. So no, you may not be able to rely on family the way you once did, but that doesn't mean you are alone, because you have yourself, your breath, your wisdom, your values, your rhythm, and those things, they don't forget you. They don't grow distant. They walk beside you, always. So, as this chapter unfolds, may you carry this knowing close to your heart. You are not just aging, you are deepening. You are becoming more rooted in the truth of who you really are. And that, dear one, is a life worth living on your own terms. If this message touched something in you today, if even one of these 5 quiet strengths reminded you of your own inner light, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share. Which of these supports do you already hold close? And which one are you ready to build? Starting today? Your words may comfort someone else who's quietly watching, feeling the same. And if you found peace or perspective in this video, we kindly invite you to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, so you never miss another message made just for you. Here at Golden Age Life, we believe your later years deserve more than silence. They deserve wisdom, softness, and deep connection. Thank you for being here. We're honored to walk this journey with you.